Steve Dotto here. How the heck you doing this fine day? Me? I'm pretty excited because I get to show you a very cool utility called PopClip. PopClip takes any time that we highlight a piece of text, it recognizes the fact that we might want to do something with that text beyond just copying it to our clipboard. Ultimately, it's going to go to our clipboard and then go somewhere else. PopClip enables that all in a single click of the mouse. It is, I think, a real stroke of minor genius. PopClip today on Dotto Tech. Now, I am a little bit concerned about this demo because it is another one of the way cool Mac-only apps. And I'm going to just throw this out here right now. I'm sorry to all of my Windows followers. I wish I had cooler Windows apps to show you. But here's the deal. I use a Mac because of the way I edit my videos. I use Mac more than I use a Windows machine. So if there are cool things that I need to show you that are in the Windows world, please do me and do yourself a favor and post that information in the comments area below. And then I'll do more demos on cool Windows stuff. But you got to help me discover them. That's the bottom line. You got to help me discover them. Now, I actually had help discovering this one today. I was walking my dog Farley, as I often do, and listening to one of my favorite podcasts, as I often do, Social Media Examiner with Mike Stelzner. And this was a good show. He was talking about video blogging with Savvy Sexy Social is the blog post of the young lady who he had on the show. It's I think her name's Amy. Yeah, is it Amy? Yes, Amy. But they also feature in each and every show. The podcast itself was great, by the way. But they also feature in every show something called their Discovery of the Week. And in this week's Discovery of the Week, they discovered PopClip, which caused me to discover PopClip, which is how I am now sharing PopClip with you. So here is the story behind PopClip. It's an extension for the Mac. It basically plugs in much like a text expander or any other tool. It appears here in our very top menu bar, and there it is right there. You can see PopClip is on, and I'll show you the settings in just a few moments. But what PopClip does is it allows you to select text with your mouse. Obviously, the operating system allows you to select text with your mouse. But when you do so, it then brings up a series of options for you to shortcut your way past copying it to the clipboard and then doing something with it. Case in point is you might want to copy a piece of text and then move it into your email software. Copy it and use it at the beginning to start an email. This will give you a shortcut to do that process. Allow me to show you. I'm just going to go in and I'll actually have installed a very cool one to begin with. Here I am in my Hootsuite feed. It's basically application agnostic because it runs at an operating system level. It's free to install and test out, and then it costs $5. But here's an example of how I might use it. Do you see here? I've got this, a follower of mine on Twitter posted in Spanish. And now I don't speak Spanish. So typically what will happen is I will copy this text and then I will go over to Google Translate and paste it into Google Translate, turning it into a multi-step process. But I can now highlight the text here. Do you see how I'm just highlighting? It helps if I don't have a spastic mouse. There we go. Highlight the text there. And do you see how I have this little icon here? That's the Google Instant Translate icon. I installed this function into PopClip. When I click on that, it then brings up just a tiny little thing. I liked the video. Oh, okay. So it gave me an instant translation. Instead of multiple steps, a single step was all it took. Now, how does that all come about? Well, you download the software and install it in your apps directory, and then it becomes basically a utility that appears here in your menu bar. If we go into the settings, into this little puzzle icon picture here, this tells you all of the different pieces that you've added onto it. And so it's got the basics are you're opening the link, searching, copying, pasting, those sorts of things. But then these others here, I've actually added this functionality myself. One that I always, sometimes, do you ever hit the caps lock key? Yeah, I hit the caps lock key occasionally. Well, this will turn everything into lowercase. So rather than having to retype it, I can just highlight it and turn it into lowercase. Pretty cool, eh? I told you this was a cool app. There's the Instant Translate that you just saw. This is a Facebook one. This will take whatever you highlight and turn it into an instant Facebook post. That's pretty darn useful. How do you add more? What you do is you just basically click here on the plus, or I'll click on the plus so it'll properly launch it. Click on the add, and it will launch the PopClip extensions in your web browser. And these are all of the extensions. Now, this is encouraging to me because this tells me that the extensions that we have aren't the only extensions that we are going to have. It looks like they'll be adding more, because how you actually go about adding an extension is it's actually really cool. Let's add the uppercase to the lowercase. So I had make everything lowercase because I often hit the caps lock. But if you wanted to turn all the text into uppercase with a single keystroke, click the mouse, you download the extension. When you download it, it'll appear on your desktop just like it is there. And then all you do is you double click on that and you get a little beep, and then it appears in PopClip. I don't think they could have made it any easier to add and expand it. So take a look at some of the spaces and some of the ideas they do. They have, of course, text transformation, such as turning something into quotes, uppercase, lowercase. This is what I definitely want. Character count. Especially when I'm writing for magazines and newspapers and other things, or even doing Twitter counts, you want to be able to do character counts and word counts. Oh, I like that for Twitter. Oh, I just thought of that. Now you can count your characters for Twitter in whatever you're writing it in. Oh, I've got them here. Let's install. And let's install. Oh, I'm going crazy. I might have too many PopClip extensions pretty soon. It will read back what you say. Of course, there's the whole Translate family that we looked at, which was the Instant Translate, but it can also launch directly into Google Translate. Of course, looking up words, doing dictionary type things is all available to you. Taking what you highlight and sending it to your Note app to make a sticky of it, send it directly as text to EVERNOTE. Isn't that nice? And along that line, if we go into the to-do apps, it will take it and it will send whatever you've highlighted into your to-do apps, such as things, Todoist is, Todoist, the one that I'm currently using is here, Wunderlist. Other apps that we use, Omnifocus, which is a Mac only or a Mac focused one. It will do all of those things. Social networking, convert whatever you highlight into a tweet. Send it to Tweetbot. As we said, I've already set up, send it to Facebook or send it to LinkedIn. So are you getting an idea of some of the things that you can do with this simple little utility? When you get the free version, they allow you to use it for 150 actions. Once you've used it for 150 actions, you have to purchase the full-blown version, and the full-blown version is a staggering $5. As soon as this video is edited, I am buying the full-blown version. Look at this one. The last one is is pretty cool. Transform the selected text into Google's top URL for that search. So if boing boing becomes whatever the top search result is from whatever it is you're highlighting, if you want a quick shortcut to get to search. Not life-changing, but something that I bet you end up using, and like Text Expander and some of the other text-based utilities, how you start to wonder how you ever did without it once you've had it for a little while. I hope you found today's video to be useful. If you have, there's 3 ways to stay in touch with us here on Dotto Tech. First is you can subscribe to this channel. Second is I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. Then you'll hear about all of our upcoming live events and webinars and courses and other cool live things that we do around Dotto Tech. And finally, Dotto Tech is a community-funded channel. We are supported by our patrons at Patreon. If you're interested in supporting us and finding out what perks are involved, because the perks are indeed awesome, I invite you to stop by Patreon and have a look. Until next time, I am Steve Dotto. Have fun storming the castle.